Hi, in this video today I'm going to show you how you can use your Google Calendar to schedule parent-teacher conferences online. You can also add a Google Meet link to your scheduled conference so that you can meet with parents virtually. Now to begin with, you're going to want to open your Google Calendar. There are a couple of ways that you can achieve the same thing. I'm going to show you my preference. My preference is to have a separate calendar for just my conference schedule. I have my work calendar. I also have my contacts listed here. I have a whole bunch of other calendars for my different groups in my class. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to click the plus right next to other calendars, and then I'm going to create a new calendar. I'm going to give it a name. And then I can give it a description. And I'm going to create it. And you'll know it's successful when you see this on the bottom of the screen. You have to click the back button. And then when you scroll down, you should see your new calendar on the list of calendars, Mr. Luttrell's conference calendar. Now while you're on this screen, I'll show you some of the settings that you may want to change. To the right of the calendar, so my calendar is right here, Mr. Luttrell's conference calendar, click on the three dots and click Settings and Sharing. And this is where you would see any description and name of the calendar. You'll notice that I updated the name of my calendar and I updated the description just slightly. There are a few settings that you can change if you'd like to. With the current setup of this calendar, these settings aren't going to have a huge effect on what I see, so I'm just going to leave them the way they are for now. Now I'm ready to set up my blocks of time for my conferences. So this is today, and I'm going to choose the time that I want it to start. So I'm going to start my conferences at, it looks like I have an assembly, so I'm going to start it at 9 o'clock. And I'm going to have it go all the way until 7 o'clock this evening. Notice when I click, I can drag to show the entire block of time that I want it to cover. I can modify that later and adjust it as needed. I'm going to give this a name. And one thing I want to change, this is not going to be an event. This is going to be an appointment time slots. So I need to change that. I want my time slots to be I usually plan for 15-minute conferences, so I'm going to say 20 minutes so I have a 5-minute buffer. I want to change the calendar because it defaults to my work calendar, the account that I'm logged into. So I'm going to change that to Mr. Luttrell's conference calendar. And notice it changed the color of the block to the color that I have selected. I like to have mine red so they stand out. And then I can click the More Options button, and everything carried over here that I changed in the previous screen. In the location, it's going to be a virtual conference, so I'm going to say remote. You can change that. You can call it Google Meets. You can say virtual, whatever you'd like. And then I like to put a description in. This is what parents will see when they schedule their conference, when they click on my link. And one of the things that I like to have is the student's name. So I ask them to type the student's name here, and then I give a brief description of what my expectations and what their expectations can be for the conference. Then one other thing I need to do in this screen is I need to add myself as a guest. And I'm going to put it in my email address, because this calendar that I created is a shared calendar. So So it's not my personal calendar, it's not my work email address calendar, this is a shared calendar. So by default, any emails are not going to my email address. So I want to make sure that I add myself as a guest, and then I'm going to save. Now I created a whole block of conferences, and notice it duplicated it right next to it in a different color. The blue is my personal work calendar, so it duplicated that there because I'm a guest. I'll show you another reason why it's important to have yourself as a guest in just a minute. Now that we have this created, please understand that you can make changes to this. If you click on it, you can click the Edit Event button and it takes you right back here to this page that we're on. You can change anything that you need to change in this screen. Now, if I click on this, you'll notice that there is Go to Appointment page for this calendar. If I click on that, it will open this page, which is the page that any guests would see when you send out that link. So when I make my conference calendar and I have it all complete the way I want it, I can send this link out to parents with my conference letter so that they can click on the link and schedule their conference. And this is what they would see when they click on that link. For my purposes right now, I am in this conference schedule link, but I'm logged in with my own teacher account. But I can still schedule time slots. So you'll notice that it's staggered because these on our calendar, these chunks of time are 30 minutes, so it has to stagger them for 20-minute slots. So the reason I came in here using my teacher account is I want to make sure that I have some breaks in here. One thing is I need to have a break in the middle here because I have office hours. So I need to be available for office hours. So I'm just going to click on one of the time slots. This is what a parent would see if they were going to schedule a conference. I'm going to click Save. And that's all there is to it. And that's blocked out, so I can't have another parent schedule a conference there. It just disappears. I'm going to click on another one, and I'm going to show you another way you can do this. For me, what I like to do when I know that it's not a conference, but it's just a break, I will just change the what, and then that changes how it shows up on my calendar. So let me show you what it looks like on my calendar. If a parent schedules a conference here, on my calendar, it changes. You'll see now I've got a time slot in here that's changed color. It's within my big block. And if I click on it, it will tell me who scheduled it. It's me. And here you can see the one that I changed the title of. It says break. So that's why I like to use, I change the title of mine when I want to schedule my breaks. Alright, so I went ahead and I scheduled myself a couple of breaks to cover my office hours. So now I have a block of time that I don't have conferences that are able to be scheduled, and I can be available for my office hours at that time. Now, if I click on this big block that I scheduled here, and I right-click on the Go to Appointment page for this calendar, I can copy the link address. And what I did, I want to show you what the this calendar is going to look like from the parent's point of view. So I logged in with another account, and I opened the calendar, the appointment calendar, and this is what the parents would see. They would see this, all of these times available. If they're using Google Calendar or a similar calendar that they're viewing this on, their appointments would show on the calendar around this time slot. So I'm going to choose a time that I want to have my parent-teacher conference. I'm going to click on it. Again, the parents would see this, and instead of having my name here, it would show their name. So it'd say parent-teacher conferences, and then it would put the parent's name in parentheses, whoever's logged in on whatever account is logged in at the time. Please type your student's name here. saves that. Click Save. They can then go to their calendar and it would show the appointment there, and then they can make modifications to it on their calendar by adding alerts or notifications, whatever they want. On my teacher calendar, once a parent schedules that, on my teacher calendar, it will show that I have a conference scheduled. I would want to click on that. I can see the student's name right here because the parent typed it in. I would click Edit Event. Because this is going to be a virtual conference, I'm going to add a Google Meet video conferencing. And then from this screen, I would add any additional guests that need to be invited to the conference. For instance, if it's an EL student, I might invite the EL teacher. If it's a student that's on an IEP, I may invite the SPED teacher. Or if it's a student that's on a 504, I may invite the teacher who manages the 504s. I would add their email addresses here, click Save, and then yes, I would want to send a note. So I just usually send a quick confirmation: your conference is confirmed. Please use the Google Meet link to join the conference at your scheduled time. Thank you. I click Send. The parent will get that in an email, and it will still show the appointment, the details, who's invited, and it will show whatever changes I made to the event. So I went ahead and I scheduled a couple of more parent-teacher conferences. This is my teacher calendar, showing that I had some more pop up here. And again, on each one, I'm going to want to open it, click Edit Event, add the Google Meet conferencing, and add any guests, and then click Save, and then send my confirmation email. Now let me show you why it's important to have yourself added as a guest when we started. Remember in this screen right here, we added ourselves as a guest, and I'll show you why. Notice that when a parent-teacher conference is scheduled, it shows in red and it shows in blue. Remember, red is my parent-teacher conference calendar, blue is my personal work calendar. So it shows in both places, and I'll show you why. If you open a tab and go to meet.google.com, this is your Google Meet schedule for the day. And because I added myself as a guest to my parent-teacher conference block, I am automatically added to the Google Meet link also. So as parent-teacher conferences are scheduled and a Google Meet is added, on my Google Meet schedule for the day, I have this list of my appointments. And when it's time for my appointment, all I have to do is click on the Google Meet link. And then when I'm done, I just hang up and I return to my home screen, and I'm back to this page so I can join the next conference. It makes switching between conferences very quick and easy. It saves a lot of time and it helps keep you organized. Alright, now I'm going to go back to my calendar, and I need to have my conferences on multiple days. I'm not going to just have it on Wednesday. So I'm going to click on this, the three dots right here, which are the options. I'm going to click that. I'm going to click Duplicate. And what day do I want to duplicate it on? Well, let's see. I already have it on the 7th, so I'm going to duplicate it on the 8th and save. And I can duplicate it again if I want to, and duplicate it to the 9th and save. Saves me a lot of time. I don't have to copy and paste or retype anything. Saves me a lot of time. Now I have 3 days of conferences scheduled from 9 to 7, and it's easy to make adjustments to those times also. If I decide I'm not going to go till 7 o'clock on Friday, I can click on the bottom of it, and I can drag it up to, let's just do conferences in the morning on Friday. And notice when that changes, there's a little bit of a delay, but it will change my personal calendar also. And that will also change what it looks like on the appointment page for the calendar. It's in real time. So if I need to make a quick change to my schedule, maybe I get an email from a parent that says, I need a meeting on Tuesday or on a different time, I can make a change. I can add more available time slots. I can just duplicate it, change the time. So for this, in this case, I have a parent who needs a late evening appointment, so I'm going to add a time between 8 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. on the 7th. Save it, and now I have a later time slot available for a parent to schedule an appointment. And over here on the scheduling calendar, it automatically added, if I refresh it, it adds the additional time slots available down here between 8 and 9:30. And the same is true if I need to remove time slots. So in this case, I decided that I'm not going to offer conferences that late, so I'm going to delete it. If that gets deleted on the parent calendar, on the schedule page, it disappears. So the changes that I make here are in real time. Also, if a parent needs to cancel one of their scheduled events or their scheduled conferences, it's simple for them to go into their calendar and they can just delete it. It's as simple as clicking on it and clicking delete, just like this. It looks exactly the same. And then I always ask them if they have to cancel it to send me a notification, just a message saying that I had to cancel or that I have to reschedule. It's really simple for them, and then once they delete it, it goes away here. And in my case, I decided that I'm going to have to reschedule. If a parent emails me and wants to reschedule a conference, I can just click on this and move it around. It's really easy to reschedule it on my side. And then I can send a notification that I had to reschedule the conference. Or if I just need to delete it, it's simple. I just click on it and I click the trash can to delete it. So since these were conferences that I scheduled, I'm just going to delete them just to clean it up. Alright, so I've settled on my conference schedule and I put my time slots in. So my conferences are going to be from Tuesday, October 20th to Thursday, October 22nd. And I put in my blocks of time here. I chose to do a block of time in the morning, block of time in the afternoon, evening, and the last step that I needed to do, once I created my block of time, I need to send out an email or a parent letter. So this is the parent letter that I typed up. I typed up the letter inviting my parents and giving them instructions on what they need to do when they receive the letter to schedule their conference. I put my link on the bottom so that all they have to do is click here and it will open my conference schedule and they can schedule their time. And this is what they would see. They would see what times are available. And as you can see on my calendar, I sent out my invitation a few days ago. So I already have parent conferences scheduled in here, and I put in some breaks so that I wouldn't be talking nonstop for 4 or 5 hours or more at a time. I put in some breaks in the morning and the afternoon. And you'll see that I've already gone through and I've confirmed my appointments, and I've already added my Google Meet link to that. Another really nice thing about using Google Calendar and having a calendar that I created just for my conferences is that I can have this calendar forever, and I can use the same calendar to schedule my conferences in the spring using the exact same process. I can add my blocks of time when I want to have my conferences and send out the link just like I did before, and I don't have to recreate it. The settings are the same and it stays there until I remove it. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope that you find using Google Calendar to schedule your parent-teacher conference to be useful. If you have any questions, you can email me at my email address that's listed below.